Hi, I'm Heather Falcone, and welcome to Heat Treat Radio. This podcast is produced by Heat Treat Today and focuses on the real technical and operational decisions made in heat treating and thermal processing environments. Each episode covers practical knowledge, current challenges, and informed perspectives from people working directly in the industry. Today, we're talking about a variety of upcoming events in the industry in 2026 and beyond. And joining me today is Doug Glenn, publisher of Heat Treat Today and longtime voice behind Heat Treat Radio. Doug has had a front row seat to this industry for years, from the technical side to the people driving it forward. He's also someone that I consider a mentor and a friend. So I'm looking forward to digging into this conversation with him. It's an honor to sit down to get together for this one, Doug, as it's kind of a bit of a handoff and a nod to the legacy that you built here. So thanks for joining me today, Doug.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure, and couldn't think of a better person to hand it off to. To be quite honest, Heather, you're doing great, and appreciate you taking the time to do it and having the courage to do it. So appreciate it.
Obviously, you have such over 100 episodes in the can, so I
Yeah,
have so much to learn from you. Thank you so much for trusting me with this. So we'll get
yeah.
right into it. I mean, walk us through the 2026 and beyond. We have so much going on for events. What are the key events that people should have on their radar?
Yeah. So the one of the things that we've often say at Heat Treat Today is that we believe people are happier and they make better decisions when they're well informed. So our whole goal is to make people happy, but make them happy by giving them good information so they can make better decisions. And that always works well. We do that in a variety of different ways. I mean, primarily it's through our print publication, all the technical articles that go out in that print publication. Our most popular product is our print publication, so we do a lot of that. And a lot of that deals with heat treating, thermal processing processes, technologies, materials, and things of that sort.
Hmm.
But there's also the element of continuing to sharpen your saw, as Stephen Covey says, right? Sharpen the saw, keep yourself fresh. And in that, to that extent, going to shows and events and educational things is helpful. So you had a great idea of let's talk about these events and let people know. We've got several that I'd like to mention about that Heat Treat Today does, but there's also some others that I think would be really super helpful.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to cover a couple things if we can, and then you let
Hmm.
me know what order you want to do them in. I mean, there's a big one coming up in Germany in 2027, which is
Hmm.
seems like it's a year away. Why talk about it? We can talk about that. It's called ThermProcess, but it's actually one of four events that are all metals related. So we can
Hmm.
talk about that whole quartet of shows
Yeah.
at some
Hmm.
point. I do think we ought to talk about Furnaces North America because it is the leading thermal process slash heat treat event of 2026.
Hmm.
So I'd like to talk about that a little bit with you. And then also, we've got two events that I think might be helpful: our boot camp, heat treat boot camp, and then also our helium leak detection seminars. So
Hmm.
those are the things I think. There are more events than that, and I would suggest that if people are interested in finding out what are some of the more important events in the industry, if they go to our website, heattreattoday.com, and look under resource tab, there's an industry events calendar. That
Hmm.
would be a real good place to start because we try to put all of the events that we think would be important to most heat treaters um, and suppliers to the industry. And then one last note on this. When we talk about heat treat, we have to be very careful. We're not talking just about commercial heat treaters. The fact of the matter is that's only about 10 to 15% of the audience that we reach. We're talking about captive heat treaters,
Right.
right? So that's what this is meant to be helpful to.
Exactly. Yeah. Reaching the broader industry at large is always our goal, making sure that everyone has access to this. When you have an
Right.
in-house heat treat, sometimes you're even more isolated. So getting those
Yeah.
guys exposed to as much information and data as possible. So speaking of that, if someone can only commit to one or two events this year, I think we should really start with Therm Process because that one kind of rises to the top. So we can unpack that a little bit first.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a really good idea. So it's kind of odd. Like I said, the show itself, Therm Process, which I'll give the web address now so people can have it, and we can probably pop it up on screen, hopefully.
Hmm.
It's thermprocess-online.com. That show is only one of four. It actually does not take place. That show does not take place until June 21 through 25 of 2027. So it's over
Mhm.
a year away. But the reason we need to talk about it now is because, unlike shows here in the United States, this is a huge show, first off.
Mhm.
And secondly, if you're going to have an exhibit, if you want to exhibit there, which many of our listeners might be suppliers in the industry, they need to get their application in by the end of May of this year, not next
Mhm.
year. So there's a lot of lead time here. So I wanted to make sure people are aware of that. So yeah, let me give you a sense of what's going on in that event. And Heather, feel free to interrupt me at any time. All right. I want to pop up a site map of the campus where ThermProcess is taking place. Okay. So the first thing to know is that there are 4 shows in all together. Okay. It's held only every 4 years, and it's held in Dusseldorf. All right. So what you're looking at here, they call it the Bright World of Metals. And you'll notice the 4 logos across the top. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse moving, but it's GIFA, METEC, ThermProcess, and Newcast. This is a huge campus. It would take you, if you were to walk from this upper left corner, this Mercure Spiel Arena, all the way down to the east entrance down here, that would take you probably 10 to 15 minutes just to walk it.
Whoa.
It's a huge campus, right?
Get your steps in.
Yeah, you can definitely get your steps in here. It's no problem. So if you'll notice, GIFA, which is the show here, is a foundry show. All right, and you'll
Mm.
see it
Mhm.
takes halls 11 through 17. So the dark blue here are all basically a foundry show.
Okay.
METEC is the gray over here. This is basically steel making, metallurgy, that type of thing. Okay,
Mhm.
in this event over here, ThermProcess is in one hall here, but it's the largest. It's larger than any heat treat show here in the United States by far. So I'll read you some numbers here in just a half a second. But that's the ThermProcess show, and then METEC is basically a metallurgy show. You can think of it as steel processing. Some
Mhm.
forging goes on there as well. So that's in hall 13.
Mhm.
So this whole thing, if you were to come, this show is open 5 days. All right. Basically from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, all 5 days. And if you were to spend your time walking through this show, it would basically take you 5 days to go through this, as long as you're not running through, right? If you're
Right.
going through and actually stopping and looking at stuff. So
Mhm.
it's a huge event. Let me give you a sense of this size. All right.
Mm.
The total attendance for all of these shows in the 2023 show, which was the last one that they had,
Mhm.
there were 63,000 attendees.
Wow.
Okay, 63,000. So even if you divide that by 4, because there's 4 different shows, and as you can see,
Mm.
they're not all the same size,
Mhm.
that's almost 16,000 people per show. All right. So to give you a sense of size difference in the
Right.
United States, our biggest heat treat show, typically the furnaces show or the ASM heat treat show, no more than 2,500 people. Right. That's with exhibitors and everything. So
Right.
you can get a sense this is the right show. Being held in Dusseldorf, Germany. If you know Europe, if you know Germany, Germany of all countries in the world knows how to do trade shows. All right. There are booths in these halls that are double-decker booths, right?
Wow.
Yeah, booth displays, right? They're they're large. Some of them are, not the size of a football field, but they're large. And they've got restaurants on the upper level or whatever. It is a full event. All right.
Man.
Yeah, companies will spend multi-million dollars just on this show. So
Whew.
my suggestion is, if you've never been, if you have a need for understanding what's going on therm process wise, heat treat wise, this is the premier event in the world as far as I'm concerned. China has some big shows as well. I believe this one is more international, though. You're going to see people from
Mm.
all over Europe. United States will be there, etc. So 63,000
Mhm.
people total. 200 just in ThermProcess now, the red box, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
276,000, or excuse me, that was wrong. 276 exhibitors, okay? And it takes up 8,400 square meters, which is about 90,000 square feet. So it's a lot of things, a lot of stuff going on there. Over
Mm-hmm.
on the foundry side, just to give you a sense of that, because that's obviously the biggest show here, it takes up almost 6 halls or 5.5
Mm-hmm.
halls. They've got 854 exhibitors, right? To ThermProcess has about 276, like I said, but this one has 854, and there's about 41,315 square meters, or 445,000 square feet of booth space. So these are big shows. So I'm going to stop
Yeah,
sharing now, but I just wanted to give people a sense of the size of this exhibit.
it's
So
massive. Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is massive. It is massive. And you've got companies exhibiting there, as I mentioned, from all over, not only Western Europe, but
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Europe. You've got Turkey, you've got the Middle East, you've got, Saudi Arabia, you've got a lot of people represented there. There are pavilions there from China, from India. The United States, to be quite honest, is not always that well represented, believe
Mm-hmm.
it or not. So to that end, and I think this is probably one of the more important things that I wanted to mention about this, Heat Treat Today is trying to promote and sponsor a pavilion
Mm-hmm.
there at the event. By the time this airs, it may already be past the May 31st deadline, but that's okay. If you would like to be part of that pavilion, you can certainly call me and we'll see what we can do. I think there may be possibilities. I've been told by our contacts in North America, which is in out of Chicago, that it's possible we get some people in afterwards. But
Great.
it's a big deal. It's a big show. May 31st of this year is the exhibitor deadline. But those of you who are interested in going to attend, which I highly recommend, thermprocess-online.com is the website.
Mm-hmm.
And Heather, I'll give you one other kind of fun little note. If you've never been to Dusseldorf, it's definitely worth going just to see Dusseldorf. They've got this place in Dusseldorf, a section of the town. It's a very nice, it's a European city. It's an older city, obviously. It got
Mm-hmm.
bombed in World War II, but they have this part of town called the Altstadt, which is the old city. Just a great place. I mean, it's a neat place with, hundreds of restaurants and just a real culture, right? So it's worth it. After the show gets done, go back to your hotel. And by the way, the mass transportation over there is very, very good. They've got trams and things of that sort that run, trains, subways, whatever you want to call it, that are very good. Usually makes it pretty convenient to get to the exhibit hall. So
Yeah, make it a whole trip. Turn it into a vacation. You're over there. You
yeah,
took the flight. Make
yeah,
a trip out of it.
yeah,
What kind of
yeah, exactly.
roles do you think would be best suited to attend? Is it the quality manager? Is it owners? Is it who do you think would be the
Yeah.
one that would benefit most
Yeah,
from this?
you would want more of your upper management people going. It's not so much your furnace operators, things. I mean,
Mhm,
you could do that. It wouldn't be a problem taking the furnace operators over there.
mhm,
But it's typically more of your engineer or up type of
mhm,
level,
mhm,
because it while this is one other difference between the show in most shows in Germany and the shows in the United States. There's not a conference
mm.
associated with it.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
that's not to say, and I have to be careful because they do have some technical presentations, but
Mhm,
they're on the show floor, and there's maybe 5, 6 of them a day, something like that. So you might get 30 different technical presentations, but there's an auditorium. They've built a small auditorium on the show floor, and there are presentations made there. But
mhm,
this is primarily a trade show, right? It is a show
right.
where people sit down in their booths in meeting rooms. They make meeting rooms in their booths where they can close the
Wow,
door and have a private meeting, and they buy and sell there, right?
awesome.
So, I mean, this is a show where if you want to go and you want to do business, this is the premier event. In my 30-year experience, 30+ year experience, this has been the most impressive show, I think, for thermal processing, for heat treating. So I highly recommend
Fantastic.
that people go.
It's a great point that you brought up, the difference between a trade show and the technical presentations, because if we
Yeah.
transition to talking about, say, F&A, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right, right. Yeah, so FNA is going to be, let me see, we got the dates here, October of this year. We're
Mhm.
back in 2020, back in 2026, right? It's going to be October 12th to 14th in Indianapolis. And for those of you who would like to access that site, it's very simple, furnacesnorthamerica.com. So you can go there and look. But yeah, you're right, Heather. The difference is marked between therm process. It's just a whole different category in a variety of different ways. One, your number of exhibitors are going to be somewhere in the range of 150 to 200, maybe, right? On the upper end. You've got a shortened the trade show hours are typically a little bit shorter, going only from like, I don't know, 11 maybe to 5 or 6 in the afternoon. It's only a 2-day show, not a 5-day show. And there are a lot of technical sessions that are held with it. So there's a much better opportunity for more formal learning, if you will, where you can go to some classroom environments. Now, the Furnaces North America, for those who don't know, is owned and operated by the Metal Treating Institute, which you and I are both members of, which is great, which is the world's largest association of commercial heat treaters. Now, again, while it's commercial heat treat, that's the MTI. The fact of the matter is Furnaces North America is really intended for captive heat treaters as well as commercial heat treaters to help advance the technology, your knowledge of processes and materials in the North American market. So it is a good event. It starts on a Monday night, the 12th? Yes, the 12th, Monday night, the 12th of October, with a nice opening reception. And then at Tuesday, it has a full day of conferences and trade show. And then Wednesday, conferences again in the morning. And then the trade show, I think, goes till like 2 o'clock or something like that. So it's a rather abbreviated. It's in Indianapolis, just in case I didn't mention that.
You
So
did.
it's a pretty good event.
Well, and it's one of the more unique events because a lot of the times when you're at, say, a trade show, you do want to try and get some learning in, but you want to also get out and see the vendors on the floor. So they've set it up really well to where you never have to miss a concurrent session. They don't even have the trade show floor open. So
That's
the
right.
emphasis, it gives the highlight to everybody who's there exhibiting to make sure they're not, drawn away going to a session. And it lets people go to sessions without feeling guilty that they're not, out there
Yeah.
hitting the booths.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's kind of nice for the exhibitors too, because then the exhibitors can go to the tech sessions and not feel like, oh, gee, I ought to be in my booth. So they can actually go and do some of the learning as well. And I think if I remember correctly, you've been involved with even program development of FNA in the past, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I tend to do a session or so. Last time I think
Yeah,
I talked about industry involvement, which is so funny. It's similar to the topic today. Getting involved in
yeah,
the industry is one of the best things you could do for yourself and your company.
right, right.
So,
Yeah, I think that's FNA in a nutshell. So I don't
mhm,
know if there's anything else that would be good for us to mention about FNA. I do know that there are still some, at least as of this recording, there were
mhm,
still some booths available.
yes.
Although I don't anticipate that will last long. So I would give a call, go to the furnacesnorthamerica.com
Mhm,
and you can check in on that, or, contact me or contact you, Heather. You would also be able to steer people in the right
absolutely.
direction.
And
So
I honestly believe anyone would benefit from going to F&A
yeah,
because of the
yeah,
technical sessions. There's a lot of learning to be had, even down to someone that's more operational. It's not just meant for that
yeah.
owner level. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I would
approachable.
agree. I would agree. As far as you have to realize the expense of going to FNA is substantially less than the
Mhm,
expense of going to like a therm process over in Germany.
right.
So the fact of the
Mhm,
matter is, you do see a good number of let's just say shop floor personnel
mhm,
there. But it is also a good place to send your upper management people, depending on the size of your company, obviously, but your
right.
decision makers, let's say, as far as capital expenditures and things of that sort. It is a good place to have those people. You can gather a lot of information in a very short time walking around this show.
Yeah,
So,
very approachable. You can cover a lot of
yeah,
ground and really get some good relationship and networking going. It's a
correct.
great
Yeah,
setup. Well,
yeah.
I know that we haven't hit any of the Heat Treat Today events, and I want to make sure we spend some time on that because I think that there's some truly unique offerings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So back, just transitioning over as you're doing here, the while Furnaces North America is not a Heat Treat Today owned and operated event, we are
Mhm,
the media sponsor, the exclusive media sponsor of the event.
mhm,
But we also Heat Treat Today also has its own events. So I want to mention, I appreciate you allowing me to do this. We have the one that's kind of the funnest one, I think, that we've been doing. We're in our 5th year now. It's called Heat Treat Bootcamp,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's just a lot of fun. It was a brainchild of mine quite a few years ago, because I've been accused of having, a mile wide and an inch deep knowledge of the industry, which is probably pretty accurate. I am no expert in any one area, but I do have this been here just absorbing over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, wouldn't it be nice to be able to share some of that information and other information
Mm-hmm.
with people who are just wanting to get their head wrapped around the North American heat treat market. What is
Mm-hmm.
it? Who's there? What are we doing? What are the materials? All that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we put together this thing called Heat Treat Bootcamp. It's not heavily technical in the sense of you don't need to know metallurgy
Right.
or anything of that
Mm-hmm.
sort to come. And it's not just focused on any one piece of equipment or any one company's equipment or any one process, like just brazing or something like that. It is cross-cutting, right? So if you're coming into the industry, or even if you've been in the industry for a long time, but have only focused on point X because that's what you're paid for, if you want to come to Heat Treat Bootcamp, you can start getting a broader view of what's this whole market. And the benefit of that is you might find out there are other areas that you can play in, right? That could potentially be profitable. So this is our 5th year coming up. It's going to be held in Cleveland
Mm-hmm.
on September 14th to 16th, which is also a Monday to a Wednesday. Will be held in Cleveland. We've had the first 4. We had them in Pittsburgh, which is much closer to my hometown, and a great city, Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh. So, but we're going to Cleveland this year, which should be very good. Here are the 5 things that we cover. Okay, in a nutshell,
Mm-hmm.
we cover heat treat markets, materials, processes, products, and players. Players being who are the companies that manufacture the equipment, right? Equipment, components, supplies, materials, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the players. So we try to cover all of that stuff. Basically, we start the event on Monday night with a very nice opening reception. It's usually just a nice time to get together and meet each other and talk. Tuesday morning, we get up, you plan. This is the boot camp day, right? It's
That's
grueling.
right.
It's a solid day of, you'll feel like you've been through boot camp after you get through the first day, because it's just a lot of intensive learning, talking, slideshows, basically to pass on knowledge. Myself and my partner who does the lectures, there's only 2 of us, is Thomas Wingens from Wingens Industrial Consultancy.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas helps us out with speaking. He does the more technical stuff because he's a
Right.
metallurgist. So he tries to explain in terms that people can understand, people that aren't metallurgists, try to explain the processes and the materials. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So he covers that. So we do that all day Tuesday. Then Tuesday night, we go out together. Everybody, we go out. We try to have not an industry event, but an event that evening just to kind of relax together. That's not mandatory, but almost everybody goes to it. We had a couple people that didn't go once because they wanted to go see a Pittsburgh Pirate game, and so they got out and went to see the Pirates play as opposed to come with us. But it's usually a nice evening together.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday morning, we wake up, do another half day of classes, and then it's officially over at the end of the half day.
Mm-hmm.
However, we offer an optional heat treat plant tour afterwards on Wednesday afternoon.
So
now,
cool.
it is very cool, actually, because then a lot of these people, if they've never been, they can actually go see a heat treat shop.
Exactly.
Now, when we were in Pittsburgh, we went to 2. We alternated between Penaflame Industries up in Zelienople, PA, and Solar Atmospheres of Western Pennsylvania in Hermitage. Both of them were basically an hour or so away from downtown Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're going to Cleveland, we're actually going to be going to Euclid Heat Treating, which is going to be just a blast. So,
Absolutely.
So that's an optional. So that's boot camp. I think it's really worthwhile. Again, if you want to get there, you can go to heattreatbootcamp.com. Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go to our website, heattreattoday.com, and look under events. There's a button there to click on Heat Treat Bootcamp, but heattreatbootcamp.com. Feel free to register. If you're bringing if you're bringing 3 or more people, call me, get a hold of me, and I'll give you a discount code so you can get a little bit of a deal on it. But that's a good event. It's not technical. It's meant for people. It's good for salespeople. Good for we've had a couple company owners who bought furnace manufacturers who have come just to listen to it, and they've learned quite a bit from it. So it's meant for typically the salespeople, marketing people, engineering people to a certain extent as well. It's really targeted at suppliers, but we
Hmm.
have had captive heat treaters, quite a few actually, and commercial heat treaters who have also attended.
Yeah, it's very approachable, and I'd say anybody should try it. This is a good opportunity for folks that aren't necessarily exposed to a lot of the operations. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, hey, you're HR people. What's a
Yep.
greater chance to understand what your floor people are going through so that your HR
Yep.
can serve them better, or accounting, or anybody who hasn't been exposed to the ins and outs. It'll give them such a nice strategic understanding just across the board without getting too
Right.
heavy. Really good bang for the buck for such a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see our tagline on the website is 2 years, 2+ years of industry
Mhm.
knowledge in 2 days. All right. So it's like drinking out of the proverbial fire hydrant, right? There's a lot of that. So it would be worthwhile. Yeah. Be very worthwhile.
We've got a couple minutes left, and we can't forget about Dave. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
fun series. I don't want anyone to miss out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. No, I appreciate that. And Dave is a great guy. So we're talking about Dave Dywert, who again, hopefully we can put his photo up here.
Mhm.
And Dave, we this year is our first year doing this one, Heather, with Dave Dywert. Dave is a vacuum leak detection expert, been
Mhm.
in the industry many years, has a lot of experience with it. We decided, really at Dave's suggestion, he suggested we do this, and I think it was a great idea that we do helium leak detection seminars. It's a single
Mhm.
day in-person seminar where you come and learn hands-on. Dave's got leak detection equipment from several different suppliers of helium leak detection equipment there, so he will explain the the theory behind helium leak detection, and then also give good, solid, practical advice on how to do it. So we had our first one this year in March in Charlotte, which was well
Mhm.
attended. Not
Mhm.
as well attended as I would like because I always like more people, the better. The more people we can help, the better. But
Mhm.
it was pretty well attended. We had a dozen or so people, which was pretty good for our first one. The next helium leak detection is going to be in Philadelphia on June 10th. And then we'll have one in Long Beach, California, out your way, right?
Yeah.
Yes. In August, on August 12th, should be nice and warm out in
Mhm.
Long Beach, California about then. And then the last one actually will be the day after Furnaces North America ends in Indianapolis. Okay, it's going to be right in that neighborhood. So the idea was go to Furnaces North America, stay a day, and attend the helium leak detection seminar. It's going to be
Perfect.
on the 15th of October in Indianapolis. And if you're interested in getting more information on that, the website you'll want to go to is heattreattoday.com/leak, all one word. Here we go. Leak detection seminar in the singular, just leak detection seminar, all one word. So heattreattoday.com, leak detection seminar. That should take you to the page where you can register to go to any of these helium leak detection stuff.
Man, there's a lot going on. It's great.
It is a lot going on. It is a lot going on. And I
Mhm.
want to give a shout out to our in-house events director, who's just new, taking on this role this year, Karen Ganser. Karen's been
Yes.
doing a great job, squaring all this stuff away. We give her this wild thing to do, and she's taking it by the horns and getting it done. So
Mhm.
it's
With a
Karen's doing a
with a
great job
smile. Yes,
with
always.
a smile. Absolutely,
So much awesome positivity on the Heat Treat Today team.
yeah,
Uh, Well, we covered a lot of ground today. I'm really excited about what we've got to be able to offer to the industry. This has been unpacking these helps them understand exactly what might speak to them individually.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll have all of the information up on the screen. Don't worry. And if you ever get lost as you're listening, just pop open Heat Treat Today, and they're all there. We can make it easy on you. So I
Right.
do I do want to say thanks for joining us today, Doug. I'm really grateful for you joining the conversation. It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun spending a little time with you, and I, you're a mentor. You're the legacy. You brought us over 100 episodes of Heat Treat Radio. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's nice to not have to ask the questions. It's nice to actually be able to answer them. So thank you. I
Yes,
appreciate you allowing me to come on.
absolutely. And if you'd like to reach any of our guests, or if you have topic ideas, or you're interested in sponsoring Heat Treat Radio, you can reach out to me at heather@heattreattoday.com. And Heat Treat Radio is brought to you by Heat Treat Today. More technical content and industry coverage is available at heattreattoday.com. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on your favorite platform. It helps others in the industry find the show, and it supports future episodes. And this and every other episode of Heat Treat Radio is the sole property of Heat Treat Today and may not be reproduced in part or in whole without advance written permission from Heat Treat Today. I'm Heather Falcone. Thank you for listening.